Today we're going to take a tour of the 2020 Subaru Ascent. We'll review highlights of the vehicle's exterior and interior, as well as talk about performance, cargo, the ability to carry up to 8 passengers, and even towing. So join me as we go for a ride. The vehicle we're using for today's video is a 2020 Ascent Touring. We'll be talking about some of the features that will be found across the Ascent family, but let's start by calling out some of the things that are unique to Touring. These features set Touring apart from the rest of the Ascent family. So let's start up front. Every Ascent Touring is standard with a gloss black front grille. Inside that grille, just below the Subaru emblem, is a 180-degree front view camera. That camera gives you a fisheye view of what's going on in front of the car. This is extremely helpful in tight parking situations, or maybe pulling into a garage, or pulling out of an alley, for example, where you might not have visibility of people walking or cyclists coming down the roadway. Huge safety feature, only found on Touring. Another thing that we'll show in motion, if you will, later on, is the Ascent Touring's rain sensing wipers. Just up at the very top of the windshield, there is a sensor that will detect the amount of rain or mist or snow accumulating on the outside glass. In turn, this will then trigger, if the wipers are put into auto, the rain sensing system, which will be able to adjust the wiper speeds based on the amount of accumulation on the windshield. Super helpful if you're driving in weird springtime weather like we're having here in Western New York right now. Another exclusive exterior feature to Ascent Touring are these satin chrome mirror caps. We'll find these also on the Forester Touring, Legacy Touring XT, Outback Touring models as well, but these are a little different. Only on Ascent Touring do you have the ability to fold these exterior mirrors from inside the car. There's a button just in front of the power mirror control that lets the driver fold these mirrors in if they're in a tight parking situation or maybe parallel parking on a city street. Simply by pressing the button, the driver can fold those mirrors in or fold them back out. A real handy feature that's a little different than what you'll find on Legacy and Outback for 2020. Those models actually tie these folding mirrors into the vehicle's keyless access system. However, on Ascent, it's manually operated only. Although longtime purists will tell you that there's nothing better than a functional hood scoop on the front end of a Subaru, the new Ascent does not have a visible hood scoop. Instead, it has adopted the underhood ducting that we first saw in the Forester XT introduced in 2014. This performs the exact same function, but in a bit more of a tasteful way, if you will. The air will flow through the top of the grille into this underhood ducting and then down through the intercooler in the same way a functional exterior hood scoop would operate. However, it is far more appealing to many people than the functional hood scoops that you'll find on WRX and STI. Every Ascent Touring is standard with 20-inch alloy wheels wrapped in 245/50 all-season tires. These same wheels are found on Ascent Limited and can be had on Ascent Premium 7 and 8 passenger equipped with the optional moonroof and navigation package. Also standard on Ascent Limited and Touring are retractable rear sunshades in both rear doors. These are great for maybe when your special guest star is being a bit of a diva and you want to block out some sun. Every trim level of Ascent is standard with these elevated roof rails. These rails are the mounting point for either the genuine Subaru accessory Aero crossbars or the Thule load bars offered by Subaru. These will allow our customers to do things like add bike racks, ski racks, all sorts of things to take their Ascent and their family on their next adventure. Opting for a rooftop tent? Not a problem. I have one myself, and using Thule load bars on an Ascent, you'll be able to safely mount a rooftop tent to your vehicle and go even further off the grid. Just about every Ascent can be equipped with a power rear gate. That power rear gate is standard on both Limited and Touring models. So either by touching the small touchpad underneath the Subaru emblem at the rear of the gate, or by pressing and holding the button on the keyless access fob, you have access to up to 86.5 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded down. New for 2020 on any Ascent equipped with a power rear gate is the ability to close and lock the gate with the press of one button. The button on the right will simply close the tailgate, however the button on the left will close and lock the entire car. This is really helpful if you're unloading the vehicle in the rain and you don't want to sit there and wait for the tailgate to close, then have to press a lock button. Setting your power rear gate memory height is very easy to do. Gently pull the tailgate down to where you'd like to set the height at. Then press and hold the open and close switch until you hear a series of beeps. Once you've done that, the height is now set. Now when we open the rear gate, it'll only open to our predetermined height. To reset that, gently push all the way up, repeat the same sequence, and now it's reset back at the full open height. While we have the tailgate open, it's worth pointing out another feature that's unique to Ascent Touring. This piece of trim behind me houses a rear camera. That camera can be activated with a flip of a switch, which would normally be the day-night lever at the base of your mirror. That then in turn activates the camera and displays whatever's behind the vehicle at any speed. This is really helpful if you're towing a trailer, or maybe you have a hitch-mounted bike rack and your rear view would normally be obscured by those things. Super helpful, and again, unique to the Ascent Touring. Even with the third row folded up, Ascent offers as much as 17.8 cubic feet of cargo space. Those third row seats are very easy to fold down. There are straps at the top that you pull up on and simply push forward. You can fold either side independently or both for a nice wide open cargo area. Folding the second row will allow you to access up to 86.5 cubic feet of cargo space. Getting in and out of the third row of this car is very easy, even for someone my size. Aided by these integrated steps into the sills, I can very easily gain access or exit the third row. Piece of cake. Although every Ascent is standard with a true 3-zone automatic climate control system that uses its own separate air conditioning for the rear, Premium, Limited, and Touring models give the second row passengers their own controls to adjust that zone's temperature, as well as fan speed and mode. Limited and Touring models are exclusively available with heated rear seats as well. The 120-volt outlet is unique to Ascent Touring. 7-passenger models are equipped with these assist handles at the top of each second row captain's chair. These are modeled after the assist handles found in the Japanese bullet train and help steady passengers entering and exiting the third row seat. The base model Ascent can tow up to 2,000 pounds. However, Ascent Premium, Limited, and Touring, with their additional transmission oil cooler, will allow this car to tow up to 5,000 pounds. Now, although this vehicle is not equipped with a trailer hitch, we do have a video that you'll see in a moment that describes how that hitch operates. So I thought I would show you how the trailer hitch looks on this car. So as you can see, it doesn't look like there's much of anything on this car here, right? Behind this access panel though, you'll find a 2-inch receiver with both traditional 4-pin and 7-pin wiring adapters. Every Ascent, whether it be a base, a premium, limited, or touring, is standard with the same powertrain. All Ascent models come with a 2.4-liter direct inject turbocharged Boxer 4, making 260 horsepower and 277 pound-foot of torque. A lot of people are nervous about a 4-cylinder turbo in a vehicle this size, but As you can see, we're getting on our favorite on-ramp here that we've used in other videos. I use this because there's a very short merge on this ramp, and I want to demonstrate how this very large 3-row SUV that's powered by a 4-cylinder turbo motor can get up to speed without any difficulty whatsoever. So with very little drama, we're out onto the expressway, already at the posted speed limit. EyeSight's adaptive cruise control system is a huge benefit for people who do a lot of highway driving, especially people like me who do a ton of highway driving for work. I find that it helps keep me alert, it reduces fatigue, and most importantly, it keeps me in check with regard to keeping it under the speed limit. So what I can do is I can set my cruise control. You'll hear that lock on to the lead vehicle in front of me. Now I'm going to go ahead and set it for 75, which is a little bit above the posted speed limit, but just for a moment. We're actually going the speed limit right now because the vehicle in front of us is doing the speed limit. So as I move out from behind this car, EyeSight automatically notifies me that there's no longer a lead vehicle, and I gradually move back up to my selected speed. What's nice about that is you can go into the settings and actually adjust how quickly the vehicle will accelerate back up to the selected speed. You can do it based on your own right foot characteristics, if you will. Now that I'm cruising along at my pre-selected speed, I can even adjust trailing distances by using the buttons on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. I can create more or less of a gap between the vehicle in front of me so that EyeSight reacts the way that I normally would react as a driver. It's pretty important because sometimes if you leave too much gap in between you and the car in front of you, maybe someone that's going 10 miles an hour or slower sneaks in between the two of you, and all of a sudden they're the lead car. Then that means that EyeSight will have to slow down to adjust, and that can be a little alarming. So personally, I like to set my system at 1 bar of trailing distance, but you can select it at up to 4 bars of trailing distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. You can also incrementally, by clicking up or down on the resume set, adjust the speed in 5-mile-an-hour increments. So if you wanted to, say, go from 75 to 70, 1 click down will take me down to 70 miles an hour. Now, if I only wanted to go down or up by individual miles per hour, I can go up and hold, and now I'll go mile per hour by mile per hour until I release, and that will be my new set speed. So now that we're cruising along just a little bit over the posted speed limit, you'll notice that road noise inside the Ascent is minimal. So in a vehicle this size, it's almost like being in a large room, and any sort of noise echoes in a larger cabin versus in a smaller cabin. So making this big 3-row SUV nice and quiet on the inside, driving in the rain, is a pretty monumental feat. It's so quiet that Elizabeth's already asleep. Not so much. Now that we're off the expressway, even though my cruise control is still set at 75 miles an hour, EyeSight is using the vehicle that's in front of me to maintain our speed, which is pretty cool. Again, I can adjust my trailing distance if I find that I'm a little too close for comfort or too far behind the car in front of me. But as the car in front of us speeds up or slows down, so will we. Even if we come to a traffic light, EyeSight will bring the vehicle to a complete stop. It will then use auto vehicle hold to keep the vehicle in place. All I have to do then, once the vehicle in front of me starts moving, should the light turn green, is just tap the throttle or even tap the resume switch on the steering wheel, and then off we go. Lane Keep Assist has also been updated for 2020 in Ascent. Lane Keep Assist is activated on the right-hand side of the steering wheel using the button in the lower right-hand corner. Activating that The system will now look for the lines on the road and use those to keep the vehicle in its lane. It's not going to replace good driving habits, and it's certainly not an autopilot system, but what it will do, once again, for highway drivers like me, is reduce fatigue. So if the vehicle begins to veer off to the right, for example, the system will react and steer left to keep the vehicle within its lane. If I take my hands off the wheel, it will alert me to let me know that it's time to put my hands back on the wheel. One of my favorite features in Ascent Touring is the rain sensing wiper system. This is exclusive to the Touring trim level and not available on any other trim of Ascent. There is a photo sensor on the windshield behind the rear view mirror that detects the amount of water or snow, for that matter, or road spray, whatever, accumulating on the windshield, and then will adjust the speed of the wipers accordingly. You can adjust the sensitivity with the wiper stalk. So just by putting the wiper stalk in intermittent, you've activated the rain sensing wiper feature. The dial on the wiper stalk would allow you to adjust the sensitivity. So if you find that it's overreactive or not reacting quickly enough, you can make adjustments accordingly. Nearly every Ascent can be had with blind spot detection. This system uses radar sensors located behind the rear wheels to determine if there's a vehicle riding in your blind spot. Should there be a car riding in your blind spot, the orange lights on the sides of the mirrors will illuminate to let you know that there's someone that you may not be able to see. As you can see, they will illuminate steadily. If I try to signal while someone's in my blind spot, they will flash rapidly to let me know that danger is near and not to make that maneuver. The simulated shifts in Ascent CVT are great because it makes this car feel like it has a traditional automatic transmission rather than a continuously variable transmission. However, having a CVT allows a vehicle this size to return up to 27 miles per gallon on the highway or 26 miles per gallon in vehicles equipped with 20-inch alloy wheels. One of the things I love most about Subarus is their tight turning radius and their maneuverability. So even though the Ascent is a really big car, it's still very maneuverable in a parking lot situation. That, combined with being built on Subaru's global platform, giving the car excellent visibility, is a huge benefit when you're going to the market or trying to park in your office parking lot, for example, or just maneuvering around a tight city street. Thanks for coming with us on our tour of the 2020 Subaru Ascent. Please make sure that you leave any questions you have in the comments section below, click that like button, and we'll see you next time.